That would be me.
Look who we're hanging with.
Brian O'Halloran.
Jason David Frank.
Humberto Ramos.
Please do not change channel.
Hello, World Wide Web. Welcome back to the Hangin' With Web Show. I'm GW Pomichter. Thank you for logging on and tuning in. We are here at iHeartBooks in Jacksonville, sponsored by the Florida Writers Association, and we're hanging with author P.T.L. Perrin, who writes, you can find her and her books under P.T.L. Perrin.
Yeah.
P.T.L. Perrin, the author of the Tetrasphere series.
Yes.
Wow, Tetrasphere.
Tetrasphere.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do we have here? What is this? This is the first book or a book in the Tetrasphere?
This is the first book in the Tetrasphere
book one. Okay.
series. Yeah.
So tell us about the Tetrasphere series. I'm going to say that word until it's comfortable. Could take about 30 years. But tell us about the series.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a young adult, teen and young adult science fiction adventure series.
Okay.
And it involves 4 teenagers who have special gifts, and they find out that they're required to save the world. There is an ancient prophecy that they have to fulfill. And so
I was required to complete senior English. That was it. These said they have to save the world. You put a lot of weight on these kids.
Oh, there is a lot of weight on the kids.
Yeah.
And in this first book, they actually have to decide whether they're going to take that challenge or not. And as things unfold, they realize that they really don't have the choice.
Saving the world is sort of a thing. If you don't do it, it doesn't get done, and that's bad. I'm not going to give any spoilers. If they don't do it, it's bad. So, and where did this come from? There's a little voice in the back of your head that spits this stuff out at you.
Actually, yes.
What do they call him?
They call him, well, I call him God. Other people call him whatever they want to.
Whatever they want to call him, right?
Yeah.
But he keeps talking.
He does keep talking.
He won't shut up, and this is what you get.
And then my characters start talking. As soon as my characters were born, they were telling me where to go with this. But it really was a collaborative effort between the creator and me. And the creator's mentioned quite a few times in this book because he is, he's prominent in the Cherokee culture.
Okay.
And it starts out in on a Cherokee reservation. And so it goes through many different places on Earth. These kids go to a lot of different places on Earth.
How old are these young people?
They're 17 going on 18, just about getting to their 18th birthday. And in one of the books, they reach 18.
They reach 18.
They reach 18.
So 17, 18 years old, save the world.
Save the world. And they don't really want the responsibility, obviously, they don't. But they find that
At 17, my kids didn't want to clean their room. Who knew about saving the world? Patty, you're an optimist.
Yes.
I love it. That's wonderful. You're an author. You're obviously an optimist. We eat stars, by the way. Read the books. Leave reviews. We can eat that. So how many books do you have in the series so far?
I have 4 books written. 3 of them are published. One is probably be released in September, October. Okay. The last one.
Do you have more coming, or how do you feel about the series
Oh yeah,
so far?
there's going to be spin-offs from this series because these characters are really well developed through the stories. And
now, is your protagonist sort of an ensemble in this? It's this group of kids, or is it each kid?
It's each kid as a group.
Okay.
But the story follows each kid individually. Certain chapters are for certain kids.
Okay.
And it's written from their point of view. And you would think it would be really confusing, but it actually isn't. It works.
How difficult was that for you to step into the mind of a 17-year-old again? Look, I wouldn't go back for all the tea in China, so I'm just saying. How difficult was that as a writer to go back and put yourself in that mindset to write for young people?
Actually, it wasn't that difficult. We have 8 kids and 22 grandkids, and so we've never really come out of that mindset. You know, kids keep you young. And
I don't know, it's still great.
Well, the gray hair is a badge of honor, but the kids keep you young.
That's right. They do. They keep you hopping.
They
That's
do.
for sure.
They keep you hopping. The inside person is much younger than the outside person.
Absolutely. Now, you said this starts on a Cherokee reservation.
Right.
And you rooted some of your earlier comment in the heritage.
Right.
Did you draw a lot of inspiration from the Cherokee culture or from Native American culture?
From Native American culture, yes, a lot of inspiration from that. But
what drew you to that kind of a character, to that kind of environment?
It's kind of hard to say. I think it was through doing a lot of research and realizing that their culture is very much like ancient cultures
around
everywhere.
The world,
yeah. And I just like the way that their culture has grown and developed. And our culture kind of follows along the same paths, except theirs is more spiritual. They have a more spiritual.
They have a more rooted, they have a more pure culture.
Yeah.
The American culture tends to, we assimilate many things.
Many things.
And while you will find a lot of old European traditions and customs, and you will find some Indian traditions and customs and some Arabic traditions and customs, when we blend it all together, it is, it's distinctive, but it's not as pure as the root cultures.
That's a very good point.
So
That's
Native
an
American
point.
culture tends to give us a peek at a purer American culture, pre-assimilation.
True. And some of their beliefs on our origin beliefs, for example, that we come from other star systems. That's prominent in my books.
Wow.
That we come from other star systems, that we are not alone on this earth, and that we have been visited by aliens, but they have also not assimilated into our cultures, but they still live here within their own cultures.
Subsets, yes.
Right. And so the kids interact with these alien species and learn that they're good and bad in all different species, but we're not as different as people think we are, you know, or that we would be.
It is a lot of fun to see as a fiction writer, to have the opportunity to see through the eyes of a young person how incredibly similar what we believe is dissimilar truly is.
Exactly.
It's, you know, I think we're often seen, artists are often seen as very corny when we say that we're all one people, we're humanity. And we're seen as kind of corny. But when you break it down and you show it to us in a narrative form, it starts to make sense.
It does make sense.
And particularly when you attack it from the eyes of a young person.
Exactly.
Who's exploring the world for the first time.
Yeah.
You also, she's telling me what else you've written. That's fantastic. You also wrote Reflections of a Misfit.
Yes.
Which is a whole other series.
Well, it's not a series. That was my first book, and that started as a gratitude project on Facebook, where I it was around Thanksgiving, and I simply wrote little vignettes from my life in light of scriptures and things I was grateful for, and it evolved. And over the course of a year, I just kept doing it, and all my friends were telling me to put this in a book.
And so you
I
gathered
did.
it together.
I did, and that was my first book. And it's a collection of these little vignettes from my life, and I'm an Army brat, and so I've lived in a lot of different places. And, you know, being a mother and a grandmother, there's a tremendous wealth of fun things that happen.
Now, we talk about these kids and the immense responsibilities that they're shouldering in this story. And then I'm drawn to the title of the first book, Reflections of a Misfit.
Which is
and it seems to be a recurring model for you, the idea of the outsider, of the misfit. What do you think draws you to that character? Is that something that you felt, or is that something that you just want to, you know, share? You know what that is, you know, or are we all just kind of misfits a little bit?
I think it's more that. I think we're all misfits because we're all unique. We're so unique, and we have things that are different from everybody else, and so we don't fit into everything. Everyone has his or her own tribe, maybe.
Can't be easily categorized.
But you can't be categorized. It's kind of like trying to categorize what these books are. You know, they are a little of this and they're a little of that and they're a little of everything.
That's fantastic messaging, because it is. I think whether or not we feel it, many of us feel the outside or the misfit, but whether or not we feel it, we're kind of all
We are. We are all there.
And fitting together and making community work is a chore, because we don't click together just right. We're all a little bit different.
We're all different.
And building a community is a job. And
but it's also learning to accept each other's differences, which is easier for young people than it is for us, which is why young people are much more idealistic, because they actually see a way for the world to work.
Yeah.
Where we kind of fall away from that as we get older.
Yeah, I think conditioning over time, once you're in a niche or a group or a tribe, you tend to tribalize.
Yeah, exactly.
And then 40 years of tribalization, it's hard to undo.
It's hard to undo.
But when those kids are coming up looking for their tribe, they see the whole.
They see it clearly.
Say, I can be one tribe. That's a really, really great message. We're going to put links down below so you can find Tetrasphere as the Tetrasphere series. First book 1 is Terra's Call. Terra's Call. And we're going to put links up for Patty's links on the web so you can find her and figure out where she's going to be and where you can meet her and get a signed copy of the book. We're going to say thank you to our partners and friends real quick. Something Unique Magazine, Famous Faces and Funnies, Krypton Radio, Off the Chain Radio with author Yvonne Mason, Space Coast Comics, Asylum Convention Entertainment Services, and our great friends here at iHeart Books and the Florida Writers Association who had us in here today. Remember, everybody, come back over and over and over again. Log on, tune in, and see who we're hanging with next.
Ow.